Hello, good morning.
Good morning, BBs. It is too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
Saige, are you on this mighty doom?
What?
Are you up?
Like the inevitable doom of us all?
Yeah. Are you up on doom? No.
The general concept?
Mighty doom.
Last night I was sitting at dinner and Sloan said to me, did you hear there's a COVID strain with eye stuff now? So yeah, I feel like I'm pretty up on doom.
No, Saige. That's the doom that's coming for us all. And I understand what you're saying. No, I'm talking about Mighty Doom, the adorable little mobile free-to-play Doom that's on iOS with the mini Slayer.
I didn't know.
I can't stop playing Mighty Doom.
Oh shit, you got games on your phone?
I got games on my phone.
You got games on your phone?
You know.
Do you want to accept their privacy policy?
I'll dismiss it. I'll dismiss them out of hand. I try not to put a game on my phone.
I know, but you always do.
But then there will be a game on my phone, and right now, it's Mighty Doom. It's a little roguelike, auto shooting, dungeon crawly.
I love Chibi Doom.
Numbers go up. In real nice way, brain go burr.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
You love do little numbers go up.
Yeah. Look at the Doom Slayer.
Very cute.
Very cute.
Okay, very cute. I also try not to put games on my phone. I have like the ones that I keep forever that I'll just never delete on my phone. Like I never play Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
But it's there in
but
case
it's
you
on
need
my
it.
phone forever.
Yeah,
it's my comfort app.
If you need it.
Not as in I play
there.
it. It's comforting to see on my screen app. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to open it, but it's there.
No.
Like I never deleted Pokemon Go.
No, you never do.
It's there.
It's always there. Do you know why I have Pokemon Go on my phone right now?
Why?
Because Trisha Hirschberger's kid is into Pokemon Go now.
Awesome.
But doesn't have a lot of friends on it. Because he's just a little guy and he doesn't have his own phone.
He's just a little guy. How do you know any other little guys?
Yeah, and like it's not safe for little guys to have their own phone. And
no, of course not.
So I have Pokemon Go on my phone right now specifically just to send gifts back and forth with Trisha's kid, so he gets a little gift every day.
I worry about this all the time. When you're just a little guy.
You're just a little guy.
How do you meet other little guys?
You're so small and you have no money.
You can imagine the kind of stress they're under.
You gotta meet other little guys at school or at play dates. They gotta be set up.
How do you get a play date? You gotta know another little guy.
I know, and that's not just an issue for the little guy. That's an issue for the little guy's parents.
I know.
Because then the little guy's parents are like, well, now we have to have friends so our kid can have friends.
It was just my nephew's birthday. And he's just a little guy. And he doesn't know a bunch of other little guys.
No.
Now, guy, I want to point out GUI, gender neutral.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know a bunch of other little guys.
The G stands for gender. The U stands for neutral. And
you?
Yeah, the U stands for neutral. And the Y stands for because we love you. Guy.
GBN.
Gender neutral.
Playdate economy in shambles for little guys everywhere. Exactly. Look, I'm just worried about the little guys, I guess.
Just listen. Someone's got to worry about the little guy.
Who will look out for the little guy?
Who's going to look out for the little guy? Hey, thank you all for that hype train. Nobody explained to me what a hype train is. If you are, I will shadow ban you. But do remember that we give a little roll call at the end of the episode for everybody who subscribes and donates and does all that stuff.
I'm distracted because the couch is in a different place right now. We move stuff around in the studio a lot. We had to shoot this weekend. The couch is actually directly...
It confuses the ghosts.
Right. It's important. The couch is directly behind the monitor that we look at and directly behind the camera. Dagger is on that couch. So if you see me like this throughout the show, That's why.
It's because the lord of the little guys.
There's a tiny deer just behind the camera.
When he has his hair cut, he does look like a
lamb.
Like a little lamb or a fawn. And he looks like when Bambi's trying to learn how to walk.
And he's looking right at me.
Yeah. He sees his girlfriend.
He's a sweet boy.
He thinks Saige is his girlfriend.
Prince of the little guys.
Folks, we got... What do you want?
I want you to scoot.
Like here?
Like there. Oh, look at that. Ooh,
like
what
here?
are we framed?
All right.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
All right.
I don't know.
Folks, we got to talk about news. Before we could jump into all the news that we have, but I do want to talk about the bird site. The bird site is in a state of disrepair.
The bird site is just in a state.
The bird site is in a state. The bird site's leader is memeing himself into hopefully bankruptcy. He's worth
hell.
He's worth like $120 billion, but he spent 40 of it on Twitter. And I hope like we can just convince him to waste the rest of his money.
Whittle it down.
Yeah. Look, the bird site is broken.
Yes.
And people have noticed. Somebody noticed last night that if you had a blue check mark and you put in your bio that you used to have a blue check mark, former blue check, it would give you your blue check mark back.
Now, does this only do it if you previously had one?
Yes. So I was like, that's wild. I tried it. It worked. People thought I was joking, but then they tried it and it worked. That's Matt Martin from Lucasfilm. Vince tried it and it worked.
Yep.
Serena tried it.
Yep.
Like so many people tried it. It's freaking wild. It turns out that if you were verified at all and you update your profile in any way, your blue check comes back. It will eventually go away, but it comes back. So, and if it goes away and you want it back, you just update your profile again.
But here's the problem now. Because look, previously, people really wanted that blue check mark.
Yeah.
And now, if you have the blue check mark, you look like you paid for it. There was also a news story that we didn't cover from last week, where blue check marks were being given to deceased celebrities.
Yep.
It was being put on their profiles automatically. And like, it's not just put on their profile. Previously, you would just have a check mark, right? Now it is a check mark that you can hover over that says, because this person is a subscriber to Twitter Blue, which is obviously false advertising.
Yes.
They were putting it on all kinds of deceased celebrities where it would make it look like for some reason they were paying for Twitter.
Yeah. Elon Musk admitted to, at first he was saying that he was just paying personally for a few. One of them was Stephen King because Stephen King famously hates Twitter.
But like you can't do that and force it upon them.
And was talking about how much the blue check mark thing was stupid and Elon Musk is stupid. And so Elon Musk gave him a blue check mark because he loves to troll.
Do that.
And a bunch of people wound up seeing that they had the blue check mark and they were like, wait, what happened? And all of them said, it says that I verified my phone number and paid for Twitter Blue. I want you to know I have not done that.
Yeah.
Like literally every celebrity said that. They were like, please don't think that I did this willingly. Never, ever think that I did this willingly.
Well, I wonder, do you think that it's like a joke in the code or do you think it's actually a mistake? The former blue check thing.
The former blue check thing is, well, number one, it's any bio update.
It's anything you do to your bio.
Anything you do to
the former blue check is a joke.
That's just what people thought it was. Because whoever updated their bio said former blue check mark. And so people thought that's what it was connected to. But it turns out anytime you update your bio, if you previously had a blue check mark, you get the blue check mark back. It disappears after a while, but then you can update your bio again and get your blue check mark back. It's just broken.
That's absolutely a mistake. That's absolutely not on purpose.
According to sources within Twitter, the blue checkmark thing, because the blue checkmark thing had to be added because of a lawsuit that happened to Twitter. Twitter was being sued for defamation of character by some baseball player or baseball manager who was like, there are people pretending to be me, and it looks like it's me, and this is defamation of character, and it's like destroying me and my career. And people forget that Twitter had to, as part of this lawsuit, introduce something. They said, we will introduce a form of verification.
Right, a way for you to be able to prove your identity to make sure that people are not impersonating you.
So, but they instituted it so quickly that according to these sources within Twitter, it was literally like just a spreadsheet that connected to the Twitter database. Like it connected through the API. It was busted. It was like tacked on. And when they were like, everybody's legacy checkmark is going to disappear, the reason it didn't happen when they said it was going to is because somebody had to go through and do it by hand.
Horrible job.
Which is why they said, oh, you'll notice that like blue check marks are going to start disappearing on this date.
As we delete them one by one.
As Dave deletes them one by one.
Poor Dave.
Poor Dave came over on a visa, on a work visa.
Oh no.
And can't leave.
Yeah.
Because he has to have a job. Like they say that like something like 30 or 40% of the people that are left at Twitter are in that situation.
Yeah. It's horrible.
So Dave can't leave. Dave's got like a master's in computer science, and he's just like going through a spreadsheet one by one and just go, because even people with masters in computer science can't figure out Excel.
No, absolutely not.
It's busted and old.
And for some reason, Twitter refuses to move over to even like Google Sheets.
Yeah, Twitter's like, ugh, Google. I heard that they're a bad tech company.
Everybody is slowly trying other social media platforms. Did you see Blue Sky launched?
Yeah, I'm on the Blue Sky.
I didn't,
You want an invite to the Blue Sky?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on.
I thought I signed up for their pre-whatever thing, but I might have been in a later batch signing up for it. Blue Sky is Jack Dorsey, right?
Yeah, which like, great. Twitter's in such a bad state, we're running back to Jack Dorsey, who we all hated anyway.
Like, we always hate a billionaire. We always hate a billionaire, sure. But like, I'll take anyone over Musk. I'll take anyone over Musk.
Jack Dorsey is the kind of tech guy, though, who like publicly takes ayahuasca and talks about the soul and then fires 4,000 people.
I know.
He's that guy.
And hey, there are no good billionaires, so none of that surprises me. You don't become a billionaire without being evil.
I'm on Hive still, says G-Rex. Is
Hive.
Is it still?
It is.
Great.
It feels like there's a small group of people really trying to keep it alive, but it's never popped off. It's never become the place where my friends are, unfortunately, and that's the most important.
That's a big one. Thank you very much for that.
Goodness, thank you.
Goodness.
Omar is there. How dare? He's not. Are you using it? Are you posting on Hive, Omar? Or do you just have it?
I'm just collecting them.
Right?
I'm collecting them, and whichever one takes off.
Scoop up my username.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see Lemonade?
Lemonade?
Yeah.
No, what's that?
Now, Lemonade is not a replacement for Twitter. It's actually something that was created by potentially like the former head of content at TikTok, who definitely still works for the parent company of TikTok.
Yes, I've seen this. This is the one that's like more supposed to be like lifestyle focused TikTok.
This is supposed to be Instagram meets TikTok, and I think what it really is
Isn't
primarily
Instagram meets TikTok just TikTok?
Yeah. But that's their intention, is a little more Instagram-y, and you can tell with that, definitely.
This feels like
with the like side-by-sides.
Yeah, this feels like when
your Explore page.
Twitch was like running Justin TV and Twitch at the same time, where it's like this is a totally different thing. It's for live streaming your life, and this one's for live streaming games. And it's like, no, this is all one app.
Well, I think they would love for it to be one app. I think that this was realistically created out of fear of TikTok getting blocked.
TikTok getting the ban.
Yeah. They were afraid of the TikTok ban, and I do think it's smart to launch an alternative that is immediately based within the US to stop the like.
But this also shows how dumb government is.
You're kidding me.
This also like
Anthony, is the government dumb?
No, but like the fact that I understand that this is obvious, but like if you're doing a month of hearings and they can circumvent your decision by putting a new name on the old app, That's like, what did you
Yeah.
have a month worth of hearings for?
Let me
you
remind
idiots?
you what those hearings sounded like.
Now, if I look at, now I didn't look at it, but why is TikTok all in my For You page? Young women dancing around in front of my wife and the Lord.
Are you telling me that TikTok could scan my eyes to see if I enjoy it when little girls dance?
TikTok should
And they're
not
like,
be.
no!
And because number one, I do not. And number two, TikTok should not be scanning my eyes. But I want to go back to number one. I do not enjoy it. This is just what your app is showing me. Can you see my pupil dilations and get my voting records?
It's literally the TikTok hearing. So, yeah, of course they can just launch another app. Of course they can. Obviously.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
It's so fucking silly.
Anyway,
Should we talk about video games?
Catch us on Blue Sky.
Blue Sky, maybe Hive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, I was so down for it to be Hive. I was so down for it to be Hive.
They couldn't keep up with it. If they had been able to keep up with it, they would have really had something.
Yeah, I think the big Hive crash was unfortunately what killed it.
Yeah, because it was weeks long. They were like, nope, when we relaunch, we're going to relaunch it right. And I was like,
yeah, it was down for like over a month.
I was like, I understand what you're saying. And I respect your strategy and your philosophy, and this will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, folks, speaking of fixing things, you've been playing Jedi Survivor?
Now, obviously, this is an issue that we talked about on Friday with the PC version of Jedi Survivor.
Though there are issues on consoles as well, people are reporting. But the EA Star Wars account posted an apology from the team for the state of Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the PC, saying, oopsie doopsies, we did a bit of a fucky wucky.
Yeah.
They basically said, like, well, there's no, okay.
Oh?
Some people are reading this as blaming the users. I didn't really read it that way, but I can see where some people might, the wording of it.
Okay, interesting.
Let's take a look at it. It says, we are aware that Star Wars Jedi Survivor isn't performing to our standards for a percentage of our PC players, in particular those with high-end machines or certain specific configurations. For example, players using cutting-edge multi-threaded chipsets designed for Windows 11 were encountering problems on Windows 10, or high-end GPUs coupled with lower-performing CPUs also saw unexpected frame loss. Rest assured, we are working to address these cases quickly. Now, some people in the replies were like,
you telling me I built my PC wrong?
yeah, you blaming the users? It's like, no, they're not.
No,
This is specifically the things that they've identified. They're not talking down to you. They're simply saying, if your chipset is a newer chipset that was predominantly tested for and made for Windows 11, and you're using Windows 10, their game is not working for you right now. That's what they're saying.
They're trying to help identify who is going to have this issue.
Now, that said, one thing that I will say is they are, because this is marketing and PR as well as an apology, the marketing and PR departments have to look at everything that goes out.
Yeah.
And the marketing and PR department said, don't say that these problems are widespread.
Yeah, you have to say a small percentage.
We have to minimize these. We have to minimize and there are a lot of replies from people that are on PS5, which as far as we can tell from all the information we have internally, which I do not have any specific information. This is the stuff that I've read online.
Yeah.
Everything that people have said says that PS5 was the target SKU. That was what they were developing for first.
Got it.
It seems to have the least amount of problems, but it is having a critical error on PS5 with ray tracing turned on.
Interesting.
So they're recommending that everybody turns ray tracing off on the PS5 right now.
Ooh, that's a tough launch.
It's a rough launch. I'll say this. We were talking about it on Friday. I'm running a 10900K and a 3080, and I am not having the issues that people are seeing with Jedi Survivor.
Okay.
I had the game crashed on me a couple times, but it was when I was streaming from my PC to my Steam Deck
That makes
while
sense.
playing. So
That's
I was
fair.
like, okay, they haven't really optimized. They said that they haven't optimized it for Steam Deck in any way. When I play it just straight on the PC, everything's fine. No issues. And for them, when they're looking at the total, we're talking about a game that's sold millions of copies.
Mm-hmm.
When they're looking at the total, it might be a small percentage of total users.
Yeah.
The problem is that small percentage can add up to thousands and thousands of people.
Absolutely. Or it might be the people who are playing the most, the people who are most engaged with the game that are pushing it the hardest.
Yeah. So Digital Foundry did a couple of their videos on it. They did say that they were seeing some of these extensive issues on the PC. I have heard that it's happening less with AMD stuff.
Okay.
And I do believe that that AMD was target hardware because they are PS5 first. So I think AMD was target hardware, so that makes sense. But Digital Foundry did say that the PS5 is the way to go right now. And Respawn says that they're going to push out patches pretty quickly. This is the same thing that happened. I don't know if you remember. This happened with Fallen Order as well.
I do remember, yeah.
And I think there are larger business issues here, obviously, that are going on. There is a target date that cannot be missed.
Yeah.
There are target, things that cannot be missed. And I think, I'm not saying they should have released it in this state, but I am saying we should not be turning anger towards devs on this.
Absolutely. And, there were a bunch of people in chat that are just like, when are we going to let devs finish their games? And I think that's the sentiment at the end of the day. We would love it if people just let devs finish their games.
Yeah.
When is the last time that we had a AAA launch that we didn't have to cover it like this?
Do we count RE4? Does RE4 count?
Ooh, is that a AAA launch?
Yeah, if the RE4 remake counts, then I would say the RE4 remake launched with 0 issues.
Interesting. I just feel like, I don't feel like that's quite it because it's a remake.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time we had an actual AAA title launch that it wasn't like, shit, day one patches. Oh shit, we need, it's not running on PC. Did God of War? I was also thinking God of War.
It could have been God of War. God
Santa
of War.
Monica?
God of War. Wait, are we talking God of War PC version, or are we just talking like God of War console version?
PC? Was Ragnarok giving him trouble?
No. Ragnarok I don't think is on PC yet, just the first one.
That's right. It's still on PlayStation.
Yeah, but
took 4 years for them to come to PC, so that would explain it. That's I guess they let them finish the port. They gave them 4 years.
Same thing with Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Because it was on console first. So I don't know. People are people in the replies here. One guy was like, "Fire the QA team," and I was like, What? I was like, do you think the QA team did not say, hey, the game is crashing all the time?
Yeah. No, they kept it as a secret.
They didn't catch the game. What are you saying? People were like, these QA teams, and it's like, what are you talking about? If a game crashes, QA just goes, game crash. And then what they do is they roll up the piece of paper that say game crash. They put it into a capsule. They put that capsule into a pneumatic tube. The pneumatic tube shoots up to Steven Arts.
Yep.
The head of Electronic Arts. It's David Electronic and Steven Arts who run the company. And it goes to either David or Steven, and it goes, and they put on their monocle, and they go, game crashed. Release the game.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Look, everyone who plays games thinks that they know how games are made.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine last night who is a developer and a writer on games. And one of the things that we were talking about is the number of people, even critics for like major outlets and things that review games, movies, things like that, that have the problem of writing, these problems are so obvious, how did they not fix them? Why didn't you do this? This would have been better.
Right.
All the people that are trying to get the that are trying to get the hire this man tweets.
Oh my God.
People want those hire this man tweets so
Hate
hard.
hire this man tweets.
But
I hate a hire this man tweet.
I hate it so much. But the thing that those people don't understand is that problem that you see, that massive glaring error, the people who made the thing see it too.
Yeah.
And it was unavoidable for 17 different reasons.
Yeah.
Like in most cases, when you're talking on the scale of a Marvel movie or a AAA game, something that costs hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, they saw the problem. It could not be fixed the way that you suggested.
Yeah.
That's just all it is.
Except for that time in Game of Thrones, they left a coffee cup.
They did leave a coffee cup, and that could have been
No one
solved.
caught it. No one caught it.
No one caught it.
No one caught it.
That's wild. That's so wild. They should have left the coffee cup version up.
Did they not?
On HBO. No, they fixed it
they
immediately.
fixed it? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they digitaled it out.
Well, see, it was very fixable.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, why didn't you write this in? This would have been so much better. Oh, well, I'll tell you why. We only had 3 weeks left. The actor was unavailable. The engine couldn't do that. And so we would have to completely redo the engine. We were already in certification and there was no way to turn back. Like, there are so many different things. There's an executive who called us up and said, I like it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It could be literally
It could be
anything.
literally
we
anything.
simply weren't there.
My favorite story about something like this is Kevin Smith's story about nearly writing Superman, and the guy John Peters, who told him he wants Superman to fight a giant spider, and Kevin Smith was like, he said it in a way that I really enjoyed, where he was like, "Yeah, all right. The money guy says we can't make the movie unless he fights a giant spider, so I got to figure out how to make him fight a giant spider."
Of course.
It's not my job to say no giant spider.
Not to the money guy, it's not.
If you're a writer or an actor or whatever, or a developer, and an executive comes down and he says, I want Kratos to have a thicker neck.
You got to be like,
I got to figure out a way to make the thicker neck work with the character design so it doesn't look stupid. That's my job. Navesk says, oh, the guy with the giant spiders, hence the giant spider in Wild Wild West. Yes. And I'll tell you this, I fucking love Wild Wild West. And I love all the spider stuff in it. Because that's the thing. John Peters said, you gotta have a spider. And Barry Levinson said, I'll give you your spider. It'll be fun as hell when I give you. I'm gonna make this spider fun as hell.
I'll give you the best fucking spider you've ever seen.
You're saying if I put a spider in this movie, you'll give me $100 million to make this movie. And if I don't put a spider in this movie, I don't get to make a movie.
Easy.
Baby, you get it. Are you trying to tell me a spider sparkling?
You just tell me a spider sparkling. Well, hey, speaking of things that look good, I have been waiting for this game for the longest time, and it has finally arrived. It's finally out. There was a demo on Steam previously.
Yes.
But you could play the whole ass game. Guys, mail time is here. Be a mushroom postal worker.
The little mushy has to bring all the Letras to its little friends.
I am so excited. I didn't end up playing the demo for the game. Did you?
No, I did not. They sent me a thing to request a code, and I forgot to because I was traveling.
Look at these sweet, sweet babies. Look how beautiful this game is.
Look at that.
You know a game that's not going to need a day one patch?
Egbert.
Mail time. Mail time didn't need a day one patch.
No, because Egbert's a perfect name. Nobody in QA was like, we should change Egbert's name.
No, obviously not. Nobody would. That would be ridiculous. And that QA person should be fired if they did.
Nobody in QA was like, it's good that the little bee follows you. Like, that's the only note they got.
Clarence?
QA was like, could the bee... No, never mind. The bee's perfect.
The bee's
sorry,
perfect,
I left
actually.
a note.
Don't change a thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Actually, I'm just going to put on here. Nice. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toph, Irene, all perfect and lovely animals. I'm so excited for this game, and I can't wait to play it. The devs have been showing a lot of the process on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
That has been one of my favorite things lately on TikTok is there's been a community of indie developers, specifically like in the cozy game space.
Yeah.
They've just been developing and posting things on TikTok as they go about their process. It's been so incredible to watch.
It's been fun. It's been fun to watch it. It's sort of like a lot of indies used to do that stuff on YouTube, but obviously the the effort and lift required to make YouTube dev videos is much tougher
Oh my God,
than
yeah.
TikTok.
You're already making a game. How do you have time to also run a YouTube channel?
Yeah, so it's been lovely to watch indie devs on TikTok. Another little indie game
Yeah?
that just really just a tiny cozy indie game just came out. Honkai Star Rail.
What is this game?
Honkai Star Rail. It's Genshin in space by the Genshin people.
Oh, by the Genshin people.
Space Genshin. Space Genshin is out, and it has more than 20 million downloads in the first day. Space Genshin is our new Lord and Master. Space Genshin is all about trains and space and gacha mechanics.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not sold. I love space. MiHoYo, not my favorite. Not like they're the worst and we don't play MiHoYo games. It's not like, they're not put in the Blizzard category. They're just in the like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, oh, fuck yeah, new MiHoYo game, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people are.
I know.
20 million people at day one.
I get it. I do. It's not, I'm good.
Honkai Star Rail is basically like, it's a turn-based battle thing on space trains. It's inspired by Galaxy Express 999 and Captain Harlock and all those old anime.
Sure.
So it's talking to me. It's talking to me.
Were you one of 20 million?
No, I haven't downloaded it yet.
We all lost you for a while when you started Genshin.
I know.
Your friends missed you, Anthony.
I know, and I've been dipping back into the Genshin.
No.
They added the Dendro. They added the little Earth community.
Yeah.
And now you can have leaf magic. You can be a little leaf guy with little leaf magic now. It's
Yeah.
Cute. It's cute.
You can be a little leaf guy and hang out with Elondra Muskist.
Elon Musk.
Same thing.
Who they have minimized in the game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, our main issue with Genshin was the Genshin CEO simping for Elon Musk on main. And they got the Genshin CEO to stop doing that. Listen, do you think all CEOs aren't simping for each other? Because they are.
No, of course. All rich people simp for other rich people, 100%. And again, hey, no good billionaires. I'm not like, oh no, I expected so much of you. Don't get me wrong here. But they held a contest saying, if you spend money on our game, I will get to meet Elon Musk, maybe, if he's into that. Notice me, Elon Musk. It was a level of simping that is genuinely unforgettable.
I know.
It was that level of simping
It
that
was
is just
bad.
like, guys, if you spend this much money on our game, I will invite Elon Musk to our office.
It's like, oh, okay. No, thank you.
That's unhinged.
No, thank you.
That's just, look, all it did was make me go, your judgment is very poor.
Yeah, and that's what
I
got
don't want
me.
to play your games. Your judgment is bad.
I stopped playing their game for a few months after that.
Because it's cringe.
Because it was gross.
That's it. It's just it's like the embarrassment that I feel is now associated with that game forever. It's not like I am morally opposed to this game. So much stuff is bad.
Yeah.
So much stuff is worse. But man, now I just find it a little cringy.
Of course. But I'll tell you this.
What?
Space Train's out.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold for Space Train.
Holding for Space Train. Holding for you to find the part of the Space Train you want to show off.
Just cool Genshin-y characters. Look at that Space Witch. She's on the Space Train.
I do love a Space Witch.
Get on the Space Train with the Space Witch, everybody. And they've got magical cards.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get rid of debris from rusty time.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but look at them. Look at all these cutes. Collect your cutes and get on the Space Train, dummies. Look, she's got a thermos. She's drinking soup. We love them. We love the cuties.
You know what's interesting? Anime games don't land for me that often. Like anime inspired games don't land for me that often because of the sheer level of like adolescent looking objectification.
Yeah,
if we're gonna
of
get into the
course.
seriousness of it, I don't enjoy the like waifu thing. of Genshin Impact. And like this exists in so many games and in so much anime as well.
Yeah.
But in games, it does often take it to like another level. Whereas like the objectification in a lot of anime, there's also a lot of anime that's very, very blatant. But in a lot of it, it's like we presented you this character and we know that you're going to do this.
Yeah.
And in games, it's like, oh, we're doing it.
We showed you our character. Please reply.
Right. Like we showed you our very adolescent character. Please reply.
And in games localization and in a lot of anime localization too, the answer has always been to age these characters up in translation because it's just like, you can't do this. You can't do this.
Yeah.
And I think as companies like MiHoYo are releasing more and more things on a global stage, they are aging these characters up. They're beginning to understand that.
I guess I'm just like, everybody is like, but Saige, hot anime girls. And I guess I'm just not into the big titty baby face aesthetic. You know that song?
Did you get the new big
body
titty?
Crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, baby face?
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I think that's where I'm at realistically with it. So
here's some gameplay.
Okay.
You run around. Run around Space Train.
The little hand swinging is very funny to me.
And I totally understand. Like we've talked before about specific anime, and I'm just like, we'll be talking about a show and I'll be like, I don't think you're going to like this show.
Yeah, because that one's, I'll be honest, it's a hard line for me. It's a sticking point.
Yeah. I don't think like with Chainsaw Man, I was like, you're not gonna like Chainsaw Man. I was like, you're either gonna really love it or you're gonna hate it because I think there's some stuff in Chainsaw Man that you will not be able to look past.
Yeah.
Because it's very classically horny anime.
That's generally not for me.
Yeah.
But I did, and I texted you about this. I did watch, while I was sick, the two movies that got released on Crunchyroll, To Every You That I've Loved Before,
yes,
and the other one. And everybody was talking about it on TikTok, and there was like the blue one and the pink one.
Yes.
They had the different covers. And there were movies that like overlap the same story from like different timelines and perspectives. Y'all, when I say that I cried, when I say that I absolutely cried.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of anime that I enjoy generally, is like, these are, it's still following teens that are romantically involved with just other teenagers.
Yes.
Please only show me children that are hanging out with other children.
Well, and that's the thing is Chainsaw Man is like a bunch of teenagers that are horny for other teenagers, except then they bring in like a couple adults, a couple adult ladies, and it's like, we don't like this.
No.
And like one of the main focal relationships of Chainsaw Man is the head of this agency knows that this teenager is horny for her, and is kind of like stringing him along to get him to be part of the agency. And it's like, oh no.
No, these movies, to be clear, are distinctly unhorny and is To Every You That I've Loved Before and To Me, The One Who Loved You. It's very sweet. It's very sad. It's really good.
Yeah, that's...
Anyways, I just wanted to... like
the Japanese name, they're out... Suzume, right? Is the name of the series.
I do not know. Yeah. It's just 2 full-length movies. They were just delightful. And I just feel like as we were talking about... the parts of anime that I don't enjoy, I also wanted to celebrate something that I really enjoyed recently because it's really stuck with me. Whatever movie you watch first will be the most impactful for you because the second one is always going to be a rehashing of it. It's the same story from a little bit of a, little changes, little perspective changes. Anyways, it's very good. We have more indie game news. Because I was so baffled by this.
Honkai Star Rail.
It's not that. That's
okay.
For certain. That's definitely not indie. This thread, again, we're loving people documenting their process of making indie games. And this person said, "Hi, I'm making a game where all characters have embroidered animation."
I love this. Do you know why I love this? I love this because you didn't have to do it this way.
No.
You could have done it any other way. You could have faked the embroidered look. You could have rendered it differently. You could have done a million different things, but you decided that you were going to embroider all the animation and put it in the game.
Right. So this is Scarlet Deer in, and I'm going to show you a little bit more too. They have some more on like the process, but look.
Now this looks like it is drawn to look embroidered though.
Yeah.
In the game.
I know.
I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, it looks like they're just animating actually the embroidery. I mean, obviously there's animation work done after the fact.
Yeah. It looks like
it's the characters.
The gameplay, yeah, I'm looking at the characters, and it looks like those characters are animated in 2D or 3D, and then the embroidery is added, and maybe that embroidery that they were showing was like part of like the marketing. I don't know, because that doesn't look like.
So here's a sneak peek into the process of making an embroidered character.
Real. Okay, but then they draw over it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, that's fascinating.
Isn't that so interesting?
Yeah. Wow.
And then the embroidery comes back in after they like sketch out the outline, and they're putting the like features over it.
Man.
Isn't that incredible?
It's incredible. I would love to see them pull back on the number of details added after and really let the embroidery stand out more.
Yeah. I love indie games. I love the choice to do something weird and different and the opportunity to do so. We're just talking about, giving people the like time and space to make their game. And that's something that we're only seeing in the indie space, which is why I find myself less and less interested in AAA titles.
Yeah.
I feel like every cycle of AAA titles, less interested in playing them and more interested in playing something that someone made in the vision they wanted it to.
Yeah.
So just play and support indie games.
This reminds me, at IndieCade a few years back, there was somebody who had a turn-based, like a tabletop game. That was like a traditional kind of like Euro game with like hexes and stuff, like a strategy game. And they embroidered the map every game. It came out of like an embroidery machine.
Oh my God.
And that was your map.
That's so cool.
And it was different every game. It was really cool. Wow.
I was loving it. I wanted to be along for it. I'm so excited to follow the rest of this process. Right now they have a Steam page, but that just has like a to be announced on their release date.
The name of the game is Scarlet Deer In.
Scarlet Deer In, an embroidered action adventure game with an emotional story, a dark underground full of monsters, and a setting inspired by Slavic folklore.
Let's go.
Yeah, the thing keeping you from certain death is a torch. Each character frame is physically embroidered, and the music is made using traditional instruments.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Cool as hell.
Yeah, fuck
How
yeah.
rad. Continuing in people making cool things, let's talk about the modding community.
Okay.
And the modding community is simply absolutely popping off this weekend. Maybe it's because there was no other big news that everybody's covering all of the mods.
Sure.
Who could say?
Mods are asleep. Post mods.
News is asleep. Post mods. This one is very interesting. It was getting a lot of attention. Skyrim mod using ChatGPT and some other AI tools and engines to give NPCs memory and endless things to say.
This is something that people have been discussing for a while. We showed a demo of something like this, I want to say a year ago. Do you remember that somebody added into their game?
Yeah.
And they were showing just like you could walk up to any character in this open world and their dialogue was completely synthesized and their voices were completely synthesized. And I think there is a lot of cool opportunity for this to be used. I don't think it replaces writers.
No. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
For me, I looked at this and it's very interesting. AI is in a very strange place right now. We're even seeing the words AI a lot of the time gives you a little like, oh, because it's being used in so many horrible ways at this time. But in general, AI should be a useful tool. It just should not be used to steal. So none of the voices, stuff like that. But because this is not an original game, I don't have a problem with this.
Yeah.
If this was a game that somebody was releasing and selling, I would be like, okay, well, that's a bummer and that sucks. And it is taking the place of things like voice actors and writers, which we don't want. We don't fucking want that. We were literally just talking about like the joy of indie games of people like making things that are a reflection of their hearts.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're doing something here that like they're doing in this mod,
like it's a mod for a video game.
Yeah, but also if you want to do something where NPCs that are literally just your basic quest giver, just keeps track of quest stuff, and that makes
the memory stuff is so cool,
and that makes your life easier. I say do it.
Yeah, 100%. So
I say do it.
I was fine with this personally because it was a Skyrim mod. You're not taking anything away from anyone else by making a Skyrim mod. If somebody was like, hey, I'm promoting this game and all of the voice lines were written by AI, I would be like, no, thank you. I am not interested in playing that. But I'm very curious. I do agree with Jelly, on the other hand, said your character shouldn't be able to say anything. Where is the line on that? How likely is it then that you interact with an NPC and they say something horrible?
That's the trick, right? Is according to this, they used a number of different tools, and it has a lot to do with how you train the AI as well. So hopefully you're only training the AI on relevant conversations for Skyrim, and not doing one of those things where like, if you keep talking to this NPC, all of a sudden it wants to tell you about like an episode of Jordan Peterson that it like, you know what I mean? Doesn't want to be like, hey, did you listen to Joe Rogan recently? Yeah.
So if it is just trained on Skyrim, that realistically should be entirely functional in that. But again, it is just a mod. It is not its own game. So I was curious what y'all think about this. Is this still too involved with AI for you? Is everything that is AI now kind of tainted for you? I know that's the case for a lot of people.
I think somebody, a friend of mine said the other day, like, the bell has rung. It cannot be unrung. There is no making AI disappear at this point.
Right.
And the people who are immediately like, I refuse to engage with this, fuck you, fuck AI, fuck all this stuff. It's not like NFTs. It's not like NFTs where like NFTs were just a scam that were being perpetrated on people.
Right.
AI is a technology and it's not going away.
And a technology that's been in use long before you hated AI, most likely.
So it's one of these things where it's like, look, we have to engage with the people who are using it. We have to engage with the technology. If you're an artist, you probably have to start learning how it works, because people are not going to make it go away just because artists need work. That's not how society works. Society doesn't go, oh, well, if the artists need work, we'll just make it easier for the artists to get work.
Right.
Traditionally, that's not something we do. So you have to be able to sit, engage with it, argue against it, work with it, and figure out how to best use it, because it's not going away.
There was an interesting thing in chat here, but I lost my mouse. There we go. Navesk said, ChatGPT is great for writing cover letters. I actually saw something about this on TikTok as well. I think that's a very interesting use of it. I think that I used to be such an AI fan. I remember literally being in high school and it being like the coolest fucking thing in the world to me. So it is sad to see, as it's not like it's unexpected, the poor use of it and the poor association with it. But even literally, this weekend we were filming something and I knew that I wanted to make some posters just for the background on the set. And I was like, man, it would be really funny to put it into like an AI image generator and do like, get one that has too many hands and stuff like that. Because it's just going to be far enough in the background that it might look like, and I wanted it to be like human people, like photograph and not like art. I wanted to try and generate a photograph where you're like, ooh, those eyes are a little freaky. That is too many teeth, you know? And put that in the background. But I had this like, I feel like people are going to be upset because it is AI if they even notice it. And then inherently it's this thing. And is this taking from anyone if it's supposed to be a realistic photo and it's supposed to look like people and not like an art style? And I'm not putting in someone's specific art style and looking for it. And it is literally just a printed photo in the background of a background of something. But I don't know, man. There is just this like tension around AI that is going to make it very hard to advance it in a positive way. And you're going to have the people who want to do shitty things and don't care about that doubling down and buckling down into it like it is their NFTs. And you're going to have the people who might do it in a useful and conducive way being like, I kind of can't touch that.
And when you talk about what you were trying to use it for, you have to sit and think about, well, what's the difference between that and us being mad, or not mad, but like bummed that High on Life used it for their background posters in their game, that Justin Roiland Xbox game.
Right. I don't want to do the same thing Justin Roiland did, though.
Nobody wants to do the same thing Justin Roiland does in any situation. And
And it's like, okay,
So
I'm not
what
selling
do you
this thing.
do?
I'm not profiting off of this thing. It's just a joke, and it's but I
at the
didn't
same
do it.
time, like you were saying, cover letters and stuff like that. I had a
Mm-hmm.
friend who went to Japan and was like, give me an itinerary for my trip to Japan.
That owns.
And it did it. And it was like, she told me, she was like, well, some of the stuff that it recommended to me was closed.
Mhm.
Like it just didn't exist
Yeah.
anymore. Some of the stuff was like a little wrong, but it gave me this outline. I said, I'm here for this many days.
Mhm.
I want to start here and end here. I want to fly in on this and fly out on this.
Mhm.
Give me an itinerary for my trip. And it gave her a really good itinerary. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, I know it's scraping travel sites and other sites that like, I know it's scraping all of these sites for this information, and that's probably information that somebody wrote somewhere. And it's like, that's a bummer. And at the same time, damn, that's really good and easy.
Right, but like it's not writing your articles. You know what I mean? It's not making your content. I'm just like, all it did was save the person time of Googling it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is it's like we have to decide where that line is drawn.
Yeah.
Like should that person Google it and grab all of those individual articles because those were written by people who make money writing articles or make money off of the ad content on a site. Like the more you pull at the thread, the more it unravels,
Here's
right?
the thing. At some point, we are going to have to accept that AI as a tool will end up replacing some things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can't replace nothing, as most technology does. And you know that there is this like as things became computerized, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, but what about the people who were hand making this stuff? Okay. And that is going to be a transition. And there are lots of jobs that should never, ever, 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 ever be replaced by this. And then there are going to be things where our society just simply changes.
Yeah.
Where jobs change.
And that's the thing is we have to be asking these questions, and we have to figure out what we're comfortable with and where we draw that line. You know, that's all.
A message from Elise in the chat said, I remember at one point reading that some Greek philosophers thought that books were a use of technology too far for them. I don't know what's on the other side of AI. I just want to finish this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on the other side of AI for us. I know that we need to have hard conversations about what people need in a world where it exists. But I can see a world where folks will look back at us and feel the same. I agree.
Yeah, there was that thing, books were supposed to be destroying memory. And the idea was if you were a storyteller or a philosopher or a historian, the idea was you were supposed to keep that knowledge within you, and books were kind of making it too easy.
Yeah.
And it's easy to look back and say, like, obviously that was incorrect. At the time, it didn't seem incorrect. But there's all this other stuff too, where it's like every new technology that's disruptive becomes a question, you know, video games, TV, the radio, all of this stuff. Computers.
As a concept. Kyrie said, as a freelance copywriter, I've begun using ChatGPT to speed up my process. It's not a replacement.
Right.
The things it puts out are too unpredictable at this point. But it should be a tool that is making people's lives and jobs easier.
And I mean, that's the thing is when you're looking at doing the dialogue for a character. In this mod, like you said, it's okay. It's a mod. You're messing around with the technology. You're trying to see it.
Yeah.
But there will be points like somebody just asked, hey, could you try to replace a DM with it? You could. And
People
you could
are trying.
And you could try to replace a character in a game with it. And that's happening right now. And what we're finding is it falls apart. It falls apart.
Yeah.
There will be a time in the future, if the technology keeps going the way it is, where it will not fall apart. But right now, it does. Like it works for a little bit, and then it starts going off the rails because it doesn't fully understand things. We showed the Pokemon where you could play Pokemon Fire Red.
Yeah.
And the reason you could play Pokemon Fire Red is because there are so many strategy guides about Pokemon Fire Red that the game was literally looking at all of these strategy guides and walking you through the game.
Yeah.
With a D&D campaign, you're asking AI to come up with things from whole cloth. And it's not as good at that.
No.
And that falls apart and it forgets things.
It'll never be the same experience.
Yeah.
The brand new said, perhaps we should move away from a society where paid jobs are so fundamental. I'm not saying we should be, now there, I want to quote this. I'm not saying we should become communists, but I mean, perhaps the free market could take a step back. I don't know, I'm young. I wanted to put my hands up for this whole thing so nobody took a clip out of context of me saying, I'm not saying to become communist, because I am.
Yeah, the brand new, as a youth, we want to say that you are on it.
You're on it, you're in it, you're right on your way. But the only thing that I say is, I don't know, maybe consider that becoming a communist actually is the direction.
I'm
just saying this as your local communist. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but maybe we should stop being so afraid of that word.
Yeah.
If our morals, our views, our ethics, our desires align with it, it's not a bad word.
Look,
it's not a bad word.
The fact that 20 years ago you couldn't even say socialist out loud without everybody getting mad at you.
Yeah.
And there's still olds that are mad at you when you say socialist.
Oh my God, constantly.
But like we are seeing more and more as we have the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big deal about it, is we were fed, when I was a kid, a bunch of lies about how socialism and communism worked.
Absolutely. You were literally told it was a different thing.
We were like, over in England, you can't even see a doctor for 2.5 years because they have socialized medicine. And that was a campaign that was launched by insurance companies here in the United States.
And the CIA.
So
the CIA itself is actually a branch of the American government that exclusively exists to dismantle any attempts at communism in other places.
So
not even here. It is a branch of our government that is strictly meant to dismantle it in other places to make sure other people do not achieve socialism or communism.
So when I was a kid, you had this misinformation. And then as we started, there were these things about like, you had to stand in front of a tribunal or a board that would approve whether you could have an organ, and they would decide who gets organs and who doesn't get and like all of this crazy shit. And then when the internet happened and we all started talking to each other, everybody was like, no, it's good. We're fine. It's actually better.
Yep.
It's actually less of a clusterfuck over here.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. So the idea that yes, we're afraid here constantly about AI taking jobs. The only reason we're afraid of that is because American capitalism is so based on working yourself to death and the connection of a job. The fact that your health has to be connected to the fact that you have a job. You can't have health insurance,
That's
really.
incredibly dystopian.
The more you work, the better your health insurance can be. That's horrible.
Horribly dystopian.
So the fact that AI taking jobs is so terrifying to us is because there is no alternative for us here.
Correct.
In this country.
The idea of it replacing labor should be good. We should not be dreaming of labor. The idea of it replacing expression and creativity is a problem.
Yeah.
And it's a problem that exists and is real, but the idea of it being like, well, but if AI works on this machine, then how am I going to? Maybe you don't have to. What if you had a universal basic income because you were taken care of?
It's wild that the first thing we created AI to do, or the first big thing that AI got like all of this huge news stuff for in the last couple of years, was for doing things that we would want to do in our free time. The big AI that became like popular is Stable Diffusion, because it was like, oh, all of a sudden I can make art without having to take the time to make art. And it's like, nah, man, you've done it in reverse.
Yeah.
You're supposed to figure out how to make the AI do all of our jobs so we can sit back and do the art.
Right.
The art is the enjoyable part.
Right.
And the fact that you have so little time to
I
make
can work
art.
more hours then if I don't do art.
Well, I'm working so many hours. I'd like to make art, but I can't. Oh, here's the computer to make the art for me. No,
that's, you missed it.
Sweetie,
you
baby,
swung
darling.
right over it.
Could an AI be a DM? And I'm not talking down to you for asking this question. It's a great question.
Yeah.
But can an AI DM? Baby, you should be DMing and the AI should be filling out your spreadsheets.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have a problem finding a DM because everybody's working and is too tired
Right.
and doesn't have time to write a campaign. You should be able to write a campaign because the AI is doing your job at work and answering the phones.
Right. A few more things. Bren New said that I find that any communist society fails when not everyone is on board. That's actually a fallacy. Communism has actually never been achieved. So when all of these sources that are going to tell you communism doesn't work, no, we've never committed to actually trying communism. We have only seen people use the title, the badge of communism to mislead people into an authoritarian government.
Most of the time when you hear communism or socialism and you point at some sort of like horrible country that's using communism or socialism, what you really have is you have a fascist populist
Right.
who is using the terminology of the working class to get into power.
And to be clear, not horrible country, horrible government.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, government status-wise.
I'm going to go ahead and say there are 17 countries that I think are horrible. I'm not going to name them, but they're bad.
We're not doing this.
These countries
we're not doing it.
Do not exist.
Lean back out of the frame.
These countries are bad countries.
No,
and I'll get them.
Government systems like China, who is considered to be, communist.
Yeah.
People would say communist China. China's never been a communist country, to be clear. And Elise was also talking about something that I scrolled past here, but was just basically like the CIA saying communism doesn't work is like the Ford or Chevy saying the California rail systems can't support public transit after buying up all the lines and destroying the track.
Yeah. We used to have a trolley system in Los Angeles.
Right. Kodoroku
You don't even need to look that up. You can watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Kodoroku said, well, yeah, capitalism doesn't want people to have free time. That's it. Once you have free time, because you are free of the bounds of capitalism, you have time to do things like self-advocate, which is the American government's greatest fear.
So I have a science podcast that I do called We Have Concerns. And we were talking about the pill that the government's been testing for a very long time that's supposed to be able to let you stay awake without being tired or having any of the side effects of being tired. And Jeff was immediately like, oh my God, I could get so much done. I was like, they'll never let you. That pill isn't for you. That pill is to make, like, if the 24-hour pill becomes a thing, they will immediately expect you to work 20 hours.
Correct.
And you'll get 4 hours a day off. That's not for you. That's for wealthy people. You don't want that pill to happen.
No.
Keep your
Here's
sleep.
The thing. They
Keep
will
your
give it
free
to us.
time.
They absolutely will give it to you. We don't want it.
They won't give it to us. They'll charge us for it.
Right.
And if you're somebody who doesn't take it, you will fall behind in the workforce.
Horrifying. Genuinely terrifying. A world that we should all be working towards is not a world where we are freer to work. A world where we are freer and a world where we work that much are
what about a world
directly opposed.
What about a world where nobody has to work and nobody has to grow up?
Okay.
The world of Peter Pan and Wendy.
Moving out of games?
Yeah, who cares? We'll go back to games if we want to.
I had so many mod stories.
Who cares? We'll go back. Peter Pan and Wendy. People are saying Peter Pan and Wendy is too scary dark. People are saying Peter Pan and Wendy isn't all good times. And I would say to those people, yo, you ever read Peter Pan and Wendy? You ever read Peter? Yo, within the first third of Peter Pan and Wendy, there's a fairy orgy. Peter Pan and Wendy is about weird shit.
Yeah.
And it's about the darker side of deciding that you aren't going to grow up.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Also, hi, Andrani.
Just as much as it's about the bad parts of growing up, it's also about the bad parts of staying a child.
Right.
And the horrific things that can happen when you stay a child. Why would you not want this stuff in Peter Pan and Wendy?
I don't know. It's very strange. I also feel like those people have never seen Hook.
Hook. Man, even Hook's got the dark shit in it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hook is dark as hell. I rewatched. When's the last time you watched Hook?
Dude, like once a year at least.
Really?
Yeah, I love Hook. Hook's one of my favorite movies of all time.
So I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, and I watched it on an airplane recently and was like, fuck, this is dark and sad as hell.
Yeah.
That movie's sad as hell.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great.
It's great. I don't know what they're expecting, but also we literally talked about this on Friday. I do keep defending the live action movies. I do keep having to defend the live action Disney movies. Please, somebody come through for me and make this worthwhile. Make it make sense.
Now, there are two levels of the complaints here about light and dark.
Yeah.
The first is the darker moments of the story, which people are like, why are you doing this? And the second one is people making the very standard complaint that we make all the time, which is like, hey, Disney?
Turn a light on.
Turn a light on in your movies.
Turn a light on in there.
Hey, Disney?
Hey.
Like the dark story stuff, we're going to defend. The dark frames? could be a little brighter.
They could stand to be like a little bit brighter.
They could stand to just add like a half a stop of light in everything on Disney Plus. Now, David Lowery did come out and say, hey, that is also on purpose. I am using darkness in this film to reinforce the themes and to reinforce what I'm trying to say. And it's like, okay, man, but also just a half a stop up.
Like literally just half a
Just
stop.
a half a stop
This
up.
morning,
Just-
we set up for the show, we adjusted our lights, and we went, you know what we need? Half a stop up.
Just a half a
and
stop
then we did
up.
it.
Like,
I guess here's what it is. If you had done darkness, okay, for the real world,
Yeah.
and you had contrasted that with an incredibly beautifully bright and vibrant Neverland,
Mm-hmm.
then I would be like, I get it. But even Neverland looks great.
no, Neverland is just Scandinavian.
Right.
Neverland is just, and I love that look. I love the sort of like very even, very gray, like
look at
Scandinavian
this. Look at the
skies
ship.
with the moss and the volcanic islands. I love that.
I hate this.
But it's a little dark sometimes. Sometimes the frame's just a tiny bit dark.
Omar said we need a dark live action version of episode of It's Too Early. It was almost today.
It was almost today. Look, I think this movie's got a very good style to it. I haven't watched it yet, but I love the look of it here in this trailer.
Yeah.
And I would say I wish everyone at Disney Plus a
color card to hold by their
color
lens?
card. Yeah. Because like, and I have heard from some people that it depends on the type of HDR that your TV has.
Yeah.
Like if you have a Dolby Vision HDR TV, apparently Disney Plus stuff looks better.
Okay.
I think Barrett was telling us that on the Star Wars stuff. But most people have HDR 10 if they have HDR on their TV, and apparently Disney doesn't master for that.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Here's what I know. I bought a TV. Make it look good on my TV. Make it work. That's your job.
Yeah.
That's not my job.
Right. And like, look at this shot. It's not even a darkness thing. Like there's simply no color in this world. We've just done a gray. We have just committed to a gray.
It's that blue and gray, and it's the flatter, lower contrast. They're definitely going for a very like, it's a specific Scandinavian fairy tale look.
It is. It's a very Scandinavian fairy tale look, which I do get. Like that does apply here. That does make sense. But I am like, wouldn't it be cool if Neverland was like
it was in Hook?
Do you
remember like it was in Hook?
What if instead we just watched Hook?
What if Hook? Because let me tell you, do you remember when they show up in Neverland in Hook and there's literally a compass from a map in the ocean pointing north? And like they're sitting in clouds and shit is like the sky is blue as hell. And like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And everybody's wearing like bright reds and greens and stuff.
Indrani, I want you to know how hard I was trying not to say it's giving Twilight.
It is giving Twilight.
It is giving Twilight. Literally. Okay, I'm not kidding.
Somebody else said Zack Snyder, and it is giving a little Zack
Zack
Snyder's
Snyder's
Peter
is
and Wendy.
Browns.
He did a lot of great.
I didn't watch Peter and Wendy.
No.
Zack
He didn't do
Snyder's Peter and Wendy. Okay, yeah.
I'm just saying it looks like Zack Snyder's Peter
There
and
was a
Wendy.
previous Peter and Wendy, and who did it? It doesn't matter. Move on.
Justice League was very gray.
I felt like Justice League was a lot of browns. Like it had a lot of like muted brown
Justice League,
tones to
Man
it.
of Steel, they were all very like gray skies,
Bronze
gray everything.
tones. Yeah, that's exactly
there
it.
were bronzes too, but
this is very much
definitely
giving Twilight.
saturation turned down.
It's giving so much Twilight. I feel like Justice League was borderline sepia.
Yeah.
Like
well, the one that we watched, the long version that we watched was black and white.
yeah.
That was literally black and white.
It was like nothing. Fucking bananas. But last night, literally, Lexi Black Girl Mage has been staying at my house, and we stayed up last night talking about Twilight, which I have not seen all of the Twilight series. I've seen like fragmented bits and pieces of
Let me
it.
tell you something about Twilight. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, that Twilight.
Yeah?
It's very funny.
Yeah.
It's very good and funny.
Look, I got to sit down. I got to watch them.
It's very good and funny. Somebody immediately brought up vampire baseball.
Vampire baseball.
Vampires just love baseball.
I've certainly seen Muse baseball.
And not fucking. That's two things that vampires are into, is celibacy and baseball. I I love Twilight.
So funny.
But Twilight does have that 2006, 2005, even earlier, right?
2008, according to Just Now and Drawny in chat.
It has that like early to mid 2000s Sony Pictures look where everything is very gray and blue and has the bloom lighting.
Yeah.
The baseball is a metaphor for sex. Get out of here. There's listen.
I found out last night that they play baseball from Omar.
I know writers that use metaphor and they're all cowards.
Omar, tell us why they play baseball when they do. You can tell us in the chat. I don't know this. I've never seen this, so this is not up to me. And then we'll get back to talking about video games.
Maybe. Who knows?
I'd love to continue talking about the modded games.
Who knows about mods?
We were talking about mods. I've got
mods are in chat.
The mods are asleep. Show mods.
Shout out to the mods in chat.
It's because they're so good at it. It sounds like thunder, so they have to wait for a thunderstorm.
Yeah, that's right.
Clap of the baseball bat.
Yeah. That's how good they are at baseball.
That's how good they are at baseball.
Yeah, but they don't fuck. They're celibate.
And one of them is very canonically a Confederate.
Yes.
Okay. Those are all the things I know about Twilight.
And it's totally fine to be 300 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And very into just like a very cool 17-year-old.
Yeah, obviously.
Just very cool.
Hey, look. She's not like other girls.
She's not like other girls. She's not like other girls. She doesn't want to be there. Going back and watching the films now and watching Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson and just be like, we've got to do this. We have to do this until it's over.
Yeah.
You can just feel it. You can feel it coming off of them.
All right. I suppose it's a video game news show. And this is probably...
Yeah, if you're a werewolf, you're allowed to fall in love with a baby. That's rule.
But apparently they're not werewolves. They're shapeshifters.
Yeah. But you're allowed to fall in love with a baby.
Shapeshifters can fall in love with babies.
You fall in love with a baby. You have no choice according to the story. According to the story, you must be in love with baby.
I don't like it. It's a video game news show.
Good.
I want to tell you a story of possibly one of the first video games you ever played. Microsoft Paint. People are modding Microsoft Paint, Anthony.
Good. It's about time.
MS
Green
Paint
is nerfed.
MS Paint is getting modded. Somebody modded MS Paint to have layers like Photoshop.
Perfect.
They're really doing the work on here. Like you could just, at this point, if you can install mods to MS Paint, I guarantee that you can torrent Photoshop.
If you you have the technology.
I promise, if you can install a mod,
yeah,
you can achieve it. And hey, in Minecraft, we would never, but you could.
You could.
You could.
This show.
Or get like,
Let me tell you something. This show, we do things a little different. Number one, you want to order a few small plates to share for you and your friends.
Yeah.
We do things a little different. You want to order like 4 or 5 small plates, and stealing is fine.
Stealing is fine. Guys, look. Hey, wait, hold on. Can we sidebar for a second, Anthony? Hold on. Yeah, okay. Hey. Should we like tell them we're joking or something?
Huh?
No, keep the mic out.
No.
Should we tell them stealing is like bad? I don't know, like legal reasons.
Don't steal from other individuals of the working class.
Stealing from big corporations is okay.
I feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, honestly, I feel good about that.
I feel comfortable with that.
Hey, steal from Walmart. In Minecraft. Not in real life.
If you stole a 3D printer, think about this. You steal a 3D printer.
Okay, from like a Walmart?
Yeah, and then you print anything you want. That's totally free.
That's communism.
That's totally free.
The CIA will tell you that's communism.
You could steal a printer and then print everything you need. Is that how 3D printers work?
Yeah, anything you need. You'll never need again. You'll never want.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You could print like a computer.
Yeah.
You could print like you could download a car.
You could download a car.
Finally, we could download a car.
And I would.
We all would download a car.
Possum X Panda said all Walmarts closed in Portland from stealing. Hey, let me tell you something. That's not why.
That's not
when
why.
the Walmart CEO came out and was like, look, if you don't stop stealing from all my billions and billions of profits, I'm going to close your Walmarts. That's not true.
Not why.
That's a lie. They have never become anything less than exorbitantly profitable. That has never happened to a Walmart. A Walmart has never had a loss that actually impacted their bottom line. They are stealing so much labor from those workers, it wouldn't even come close. The sheer amount that they are taking advantage of and profiting off of the backs of these people, the sheer amount of stolen time they have of underpaid work.
But this is all true.
Would
but
never balance.
The reason they closed those Walmarts is because labor laws in Portland are changing, and it is not. When they say it's not profitable because people are stealing, what they mean to say is it's not profitable because we're going to have to pay and protect these workers more than we want to.
Correct. And the brand new, no, employees in the store do not suffer from people stealing. They did not pay for that merchandise. I worked retail for 7 years. I worked retail. I worked in large department stores. I worked in smaller stores. Don't steal from like a family-owned business. Don't do that.
No.
Don't steal from an independent business. But I guarantee you, as somebody who has worked for like every department store and mega corporation at some point in my life, an employee does not suffer from you stealing from a corporation. Not once when I worked in a Nordstrom was I like, oh fuck, those shoes, my paycheck.
When the head of a multinational corporation that is known for hating labor laws and crushing unions and keeping people on minimum wage, Walmart literally will help their employees. They have somebody who will help their employees fill out the forms for EBT, which is food stamps, for EBT, for low income assistance. The people at Walmart will help their employees fill out those forms so they don't have to pay those employees more. When those employees and when those executives who make millions of dollars come out on television and say, yeah, we're closing all of the Walmarts in Portland because it's too leftist and there are too many people are stealing and Portland's gone to hell.
That's exactly what they want you to believe.
They want you to believe that. Ask somebody from Portland what's going on and they'll tell you something different.
Right. Or somebody who like works in that field in any capacity.
What do they want? What do they want and how does closing the Walmart there help them get it? That's it.
Ooh. Elise said, Walmart is the largest employer and thus is the highest subsidized company in the U.S.
Yeah.
Your tax dollars fund Walmart. You don't have to worry about it. And if you see someone stealing, no, you fucking didn't.
No, you didn't, because they paid their taxes.
Correct. I paid my taxes, which means everything in a Walmart is mine.
It's like, it's like the Elon Musk thing or the Jeff Bezos thing of like the self-made billionaire, where it's like where you go, okay, but let's talk about the government loans you got. Let's talk about the government assistance you got. Let's talk about the millions of dollars in subsidies that you get in your industry. And Walmart is one of those companies. All giant corporations and all billionaires got there through someone's help. And a lot of the time, it was your help.
Yep.
A lot of the time, it was government help.
Ada said, but if you snatch $20 from a register, that will come out of somebody's paycheck. No, it won't.
No, it won't.
That's not how it works. But also, stealing from a register, don't
do that.
You will get caught.
Yeah.
Don't do that because you will get caught. But no, that's not also how large corporations work.
They're not allowed to do that. They can't.
Illegal.
If your till is $20 short, your employer cannot take that $20 from you. That's illegal. Now,
it's not
will
real.
the person get in trouble because their till is off?
Yes. Don't steal from a register. You also are not going to be able to do that. That is robbery at that point, and that's actually a totally different crime.
That's a totally different crime.
It's actually a completely different crime. At that point.
That's different than eating a Pop-Tart. Like if you're walking around and you're eating a Pop-Tart. Like you go through the snack aisle before you go through any other aisle.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, you want to talk about what's making money? I'll tell you about what's making money.
How did we get
the Super Mario Brothers movie?
How did we get to stealing from Walmart from Microsoft Paint mods?
It's free jazz, baby. It's free. It's communist jazz. The the Super Mario Brothers movie has made $1 billion in global box office receipts as of Sunday. It is the 5th film since the pandemic to gross 10 figures. It is the first billion-dollar film of 2023.
And I think it's like the 10th animated film ever, I want to say.
They've only made 10 animated films ever.
To make $1 billion. You stop that. No, Anthony, no. I'm going to put my hand here. I'm going to go like this. Don't. Okay. I'm going to put my hand there and you're not going to do it, right? Okay. Fuck.
Fucking did it, man. I fucking did it. You gave me a low 5. You didn't even want to, dummy.
A gentle set down
you
of
gave me
a low
a gentle
5.
low 5.
Hey, man. High five. Anyways, Mario made much money.
Mario made $1 billion.
Yo, the Mario Brothers, their business, thriving. A local Italian business.
We love to see that.
A small business of brothers, a family-owned business, thriving.
It's 26 days after release. It's $490 million in America, in North America, and $532 million internationally. The 5th movie of pandemic times to join the $1 billion club, following Spider-Man No Way Home, Top Gun Maverick, Jurassic World Dominion, Avatar The Way of Water, and Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I love that.
I like how much of our chat is just peaches.
But Bowser was perfect in that film.
You've heard our thoughts on the Mario movie.
You've heard our thoughts on the Mario movie.
Anthony thinks it was a fine movie.
It's a perfectly fine film.
I thought it was good.
What a perfectly fine. If I had children, great family film.
Yeah.
And if I was a kid and I watched that movie, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sure.
For me, an adult man, perfectly fine film.
Mario's the next Avatar, please. Now, do you mean that in the cycle of Avatars way or the blue people way? Because I mean it in like the cycle.
Yeah. Mario is obviously a Fire Kingdom avatar.
Yeah, I think he's a firebender.
Yeah, he's a firebender.
But only when he gets the flower.
Yeah. Peaches. Hey, everybody, shut up.
What? Oh my God, it's
Time's
10:30?
up. It's over.
Wait, really quick, look.
Oh, wait, yeah, we should talk about that. What's that? Oh, that's some Power A stuff?
It's some really hard to get Switch accessories right now. Look how fucking cute they are.
Why are they so hard to get?
Because everybody wants them.
Hey, does everybody know that they're Power A brand?
They're really cute though.
I mean, they are cute.
Look at the case. Who cares if that's Power A brand?
That's true.
Even I also think the
case?
Switch controller.
The plasticky bud that holds your...
Yeah, I don't think it really matters, the quality of that.
No. That controller I wouldn't trust. I mean, it'll be fine. It just won't be great. The other thing about
such a sweetie on it.
The other thing about Power A controllers is that's gonna be a wired controller.
I love wired controllers. When I'm playing, Anthony,
what are you saying now?
Look, I will buy anything wired that I can. I keep a wired mouse. I have a wired controller that I use. I fucking hate replacing batteries. I hate charging things. I hate charging things. I've never once. Anthony, I'm unmedicated.
What are you about?
Anthony, I am unmedicated.
But Saige, you can plug in a wireless thing if
I
you
don't
need
contribute to capitalism in the way they want me to, so I don't have health insurance. So I can't charge my controllers.
Saige, you can plug in a wireless controller and charge it while you play. You can't ever unplug a wired controller. A wireless controller is both. A wireless controller is both.
Look, I also can't unplug my wired controller because I didn't charge it. My wireless controller will never get unplugged because I did not charge it.
Saige,
no battery.
How do you feel about knocking things over, tripping over cables, knocking your consoles over? I know you do it.
No,
I know you've done it.
I've watched. Not as much as I forget to charge something.
I've watched this mouse get knocked off of this desk so many times.
We have a mouse to do the show with, and otherwise we wouldn't. Okay?
No, a wireless mouse would work just as well.
I stopped going to work at Comcast, and they took away my health insurance.
Saige.
I said I don't want to work for Comcast anymore, and they said, then choke, bitch.
Saige. A wireless mouse would also work.
When I said I didn't want to go and work for the big company and the big tower, they said, joke.
This doesn't have to do with that.
They said, you'll never get ADHD medication.
You're drawing the wrong conclusions.
You'll never get a diagnosis.
You can absolutely just plug in a wireless mouse.
How's self-diagnosis
My
feel?
wireless mouse
You tired bitch?
My wireless mouse has a USB cable. You can plug it in.
Yeah.
And then you can
and then
unplug
I just buy it wired. And I'll never have to worry about it because you know what else, Anthony? I'll lose the wire. I'll lose the cable. I don't know what it is.
Get over there. You go over there.
No.
You go over there.
No.
You go calm down.
No.
You are yelling at me.
You're yelling.
You are yelling at me. You're yelling at me.
Easy for you to say, Mister. I took Adderall this morning.
You, first of all, I'm a Vyvanse boy now. How dare you misgender me?
Even more expensive. We don't joke about gender.
No, we don't.
Heard Vyvanse is pretty sweet.
Vyvanse ain't bad. It ain't bad.
I heard the crash isn't as bad.
No, it's not as much of an up and down. It's pretty nice. Here's the thing, I don't feel it as much, and so sometimes I don't think it's working.
Yeah,
but it is working.
buzz.
But it is working. It just, I don't feel it.
Yeah, no, I know it's working.
You can just get a wireless. No, wireless controllers are better.
Come on, get up.
No, wireless controllers are better because you can plug them in.
Come on,
you can plug them in. Same as.
It's okay, bud. It's all right.
Use it both.
It's okay. I know.
You can use it
I
both.
know. I understand. I hear you.
You can use it both.
I think you're wrong. And I think
It's not.
stupid.
No, I think you're wrong and stupid, and you can use it both. You can use it both.
That's all the show we have time for. You're all great, and we love you so much.
You can use it both.
I'll lose the cable, and then I can't use it either.
Tech Sentient says, which would fail first, a wired or wireless device?
Wireless.
Wired.
Wireless.
Because you knock it around all the time.
Wireless. 100% wireless.
No, wireless is
Hey,
good.
everybody. We do the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at exactly 9 a.m. Pacific. Different now.
9 a.m. is the wireless of times.
What?
Yeah. That's right. We all know it.
No.
Keep going.
No.
Keep doing your thing.
No.
Keep doing your thing.
Anyways,
here at the wireless
come back and watch us.
times.
A bunch of ways to support the show. Number one is just showing up and watching us yell at each other. That's the number one thing that you can do that makes this show possible. But you can also do other things, like some of these people that we're going to go off and roll call in just a moment. You can join the Patreon. You can join the Discord, which is free. You can tell a friend about the show, which is also free. Patreon's not free. Though I heard Patreon might be rolling out some kind of like free feed. Like I think OnlyFans
No free
does that.
feet. No free feet on Patreon.
Okay, no, to be clear, there's a D. Anyway, Anthony, when you're not being wrong here, where are you being wrong?
I've never been wrong, and you can find me everywhere online at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. And Wednesday at 11 a.m., you can catch me on Fossil Live with Bobby Moynihan. We're going to be talking about Return of the Jedi and showing off some fancy new Star Wars toy stuff.
Ooh.
So check that out on Fossil Live. You can also watch it on my Instagram.
Hey, you can also catch us together on Friday nights for Failed Save, our entirely nonsensical D&D 5e adventure. Now, next week, we're doing something a little bit different on Failed Save because you all
3D
unlocked
print
a
a
very cool.
foot?
Yeah, 100%.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right?
That's all free feet.
Yeah.
You can print as many free feet as you want.
Anyways, next week we're doing something a little bit different. This week, actually, not next week.
The government doesn't want you to know.
Anthony, let me please, I'm begging you.
The government doesn't want you to know
last
you
week,
have free feet.
Fucking Christ, Anthony. Maybe the Vyvanse isn't working.
Maybe it is because I just figured out the hack.
Life hack. You just get out of the Matrix, man.
I'm not in the Matrix anymore, baby.
On Friday night, we're doing something a little bit different. We are heading into what we are calling the best Gaimline. We are doing an adventure on Friday where Guy not only joined the party when we first met Guy, but became our best friend and hero. We have a special guest that I don't think I'm allowed to announce yet coming in to be Hero Guy. Guy is not an NPC here. Guy is the star. It's going to be a very, very fun and weird episode. If you enjoy Failed Save, you'll enjoy this bullshit.
Yeah.
You can find me everywhere on the internet.
You're going to love
Saige.
this bullshit.
I'm building a new PC, so I'll be back on my channel very soon.